Well, I question since on Sutimisa church and Kuwe Tim Diabre, Brasso said to her, young common so I'm say, we need a year segment to chat to a crowd, a big media chassis, free no about pound minute at your night in Numino, ye de urban area and a scientist. Megis Obeji Brenda was waiting me any abo or mine home bra or mine home como a free sabre ya echo. Well, I've just been joined by Dr. Frank Bano, or Hanum say, if you say, him for Rickett, and so, yes, sir, Ebekanda for your toy and commons. Dr. Kwaba.
Yeah, you're mine.
Mijili se bibia kama.
Oh, Nanko Padom, Janada Roma.
Party Sumugu so mo ye monioma.
Oh, mine, where we need to said in Chebiana, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamia, I did not probo in the Western North region, a bar every year. Wasaba and Kraya, or 20 Juma who was Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. In Chebia, no, Mr. Ordinary Betra Shanti, and the Bono regions. Mr. Nawatria, a day numa ebeya, na wakotua, na pro bono so, nti, a idea you go so now. My members, and myself, some didn't cheer more than Parma, or Tifuano Pewana, with Tie, and Opebia, and especially Miami Chrome for Boazefo. My husband so much of
oh wow,
especially some banana and because I say they show Adom. We are waving at you. Obuasi is for you know show no paper. Yeah, my husband to send a mechano and me say Mampeni abedi chiro no aso na Franka to former the new Patriotic Party no. Mr. Ogusu go na pro bono no my husband him say Obama me kwane dia me say bia won say me opeso bi sa me na
well me dia na ka be so ka
dem pese me kan ye and someone me say edapono so say sia wo Ghana ha me say bia wan so e bia bedru opura no dia
I don't know about before
Galamsey issues
before I let me just read this message this release from the Ghana Medical Association then the betua in common so na ya to so it's from the Ghana Medical Association and it says that dear members, important notice to Ghana Medical Association, GMA members. The Ghana Medical Association has not declared roadmap for an industrial action. Therefore, all members are expected to continue providing full services without interruptions. The GMA, however, is in solidarity with the organized labor in this fight against Galamsey. The National Executive Council, NEC, will give further information when necessary and assign Dr. Frank Srebo, who is the president of the Ghana Medical Association. And there are other ones also coming up. Okasi American, many wedding come. But what is it about it? Is it about Unyami admit organized labor or more 18 pono or what is it about? Yeah, what is it about it?
Yeah, I mean, say, who be here say, and send say ba ye de abotre ene peperio na ebe fa kwan so na ye di asia na omahene na ye ka Galamsey asama omahene Galamsey starting na omahene no mi nyina na ye nwoye in fact me ametiwe oboase na ye wo me na obi bebisa ho say ye de nti na oboase na ye kowo me oboase because of ye good hu dwuma ye nti na ma me nana ebe tena oboase enne mu a me papa so hia me maame oboase e de wo me oboase nti ofa okro bi te se oboase a oboase kro no is built on mines. Without mines, a kro no does not exist. Nti no mines obekaya somewhere 2012 2013 2014 time ye to mines in no oboase became what we call in Portuguese as a ghost town. Udro oboase a ne ho dampan wa ye din fi se oboase kro no ne kra ne sunsumu no ejina sika kokko ayetuo so tese sika kokko ayetuo ni jai na oboase kuro no exist bi into we kire sese ba eye Galamsey asem na enye ene in fact Galamsey shase wo Ghana no na Ghana so man no kura wadi mfie eduasan so 67 years no na ye nyanwo no in fact na the Gold Coast dey impon there abrofo no be to Ghana Gold Coast abrofo no be to Ghana Gold Coast because omo free omo shape mu esi form no na poa no kokora na sika kokko no ebi ewo ho omo tumi esesa to no mo frɛ no the Gold Coast tese sika empoa no enti eba Galamsey eni sika kokko tru ho asem wo mami ha the entire country so wo fa Ghana man a yen history ni abakosem ni ye din kura ni ye wo ansa na ye benya fa ahodie no it is hinged on Galamsey. Into want to be Galamsey in free Ghana. na emu de akoba sesi ha ne se ekwan ya na ye nananom efa edi tu sikakoko ya ye ka ho asem ya enu nti saa bre no emi se me research akra me ye no I stand to be corrected ekre me say the word Galamsey no cry the corrupted version of gather and sell say ye boaboa sikakoko na no na ya ton omahin me say me amisa oboase pomposo na ye wo mamahin say ensuo topa kese a na se be pono ensuo no to na erosion take over omahin erosion na etwibetwam no say ye konantima na etumi sesa gold pure gold omahin asema miken obi owo oboase is pomposo to be precise omahin obetumi afre inu abeme asema miken ye no kre tamani yesusa ye wo be as a primary school no me yesesa e wo nsuo sunsan etene obo omahin e wo oboase nti e kire wo say it has been part of us na question so me say bisa me hu bi me say ene Galamsey ebe ye issue ana omahin da bi me ka say offer Pra River before the early 2000 na minim senia Pra River etie fe se de bia no se me bank kan ya na me fi oboase bank kan me twa River Pra, Asio Pra, Micha Ewa Pra so, Eye, Asen Pra so, Adanse Pra so, and San Wabira Asen Pra so, na Micha Omahin, na minim senia River Pra etie Omahin. Na mimbo no may read a few articles be on Eye Galamsey and its effects on Eye water bodies Omahin. We Eye article be a 26 Omahin, Ube Hunsuno. In Sona pika. Where River Pra make one that was in 2nd September 2016. Sorry, where ye a tunnel. Publication mycityfmonline.com and cityfmonline.com. Or say BA or Brona half already because then time no Brona half already near Yanchim. Risk losing main source of potable water due to Galamsey. Omahini, where they are making a Miami Kurumu for Oboase for us making Obahini. Where the same 2nd September 2016. Or say residents living in the Obuasi municipality and neighboring towns in the Ashanti region risk losing access to potable water due to the effects of illegal mining. Omahini, insuo na pika wo hu ne hanom se. Menwie we 22nd September 2016. Or say the Ghana Association of Small Scale Miners is blaming government and its allied institutions for the rise in illegal mining. Omahini. Inti se ye ka Galamsey asem ya ene bebe ntimi eka yensu ya ase ya ene na me fan justify say ene yensu ya ase ni to encourage say but I'm building a point enam sa history ni background amahe me menti enti na Akufo Addo na Danko Akufo Addo His Excellency ene Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia Ghana for to abamo in 2016 based on some of enyoma we a course in 2016 na Ghana for any nye ho nti no by 2018 no ni 2019 no na Addo at task force we declare head on fight with Galamsey na meka omanyi ye ka asem na e wo se ye ma enchirimuri da hopan. The fight against illegal mining no, is not the same as fight against small scale mining, because small scale mining there enipeku anase ankrankran aban amo license so mo fanya adwuma na license na aban do amo no Minerals Commission any EP the Environmental Protection Authority no emra wo de amo so mo fa ni dwuma no omo fa so pay edidi dwuma enti ontumi lansame small scale mining fa nkokobọ Galamsey wona wo ye illegal mining mo and also get distinction
so are you aware that even though some of these legally acquired licenses and yes small scale no, you must be no, you was a small scale license. You must be practicing an illegality. Are you aware? Yeah. Has it come to your notice?
In fact, I've heard it.
Okay, so go.
I've heard it. And you know, Mama Kase, say you lamsami the true now, and I say you kase you lay a blanket ban on mining in its entirety or mining. What, in simple terms, we are trying to say is say we should collapse the economy of Ghana.
Collapse.
Yeah. I'm saying this based on data. Say well who your second quarter growth are BT expectations of the IMF, Fitch, Bloomberg and all other institutions that are my predictions say your second quarter growth would have been somewhere about 3.5, 3.6%, and you cost 6.9%. What is the major driver of that growth? The major driver of that growth is industry. Now in the industry sector, no, mining and the largest contributor about 60% of that growth.
Mining.
Yes. small scale mining contribute to about 40% of that growth from mining sector or mining. Now, say the small scale mining I work room here or mining. Direct jobs are created over 1 million. That is current data as of 2021. Now, so find the value chain of small scale mining. I'm not talking about illegal mining, Galamsey or mining. I'm talking about small scale mining. Those who are operating legally. We are the bad notes out of it. No, so has mining. It generated the value chain. So they can the direct employment in mining. It generated about 4.5 million jobs in Ghana. Mining. That is more than 12% of total jobs creation in Ghana. It is such a sector on my hand. Next, say I buy any blanket ban on it. Now, on suspending all activities until further notice on my hand. That's why I'm making the point that you are collapsing your economy because of my hand. Okay? Again, let me speak to data. Say offer a balance of payments. One of the reasons in TIA you experience a surplus, especially in the first and second quarter, is due to mining exports. And the data is there. In fact, with the BOG last week and the BOG now the data no ebetuja. To try your surplus for second quarter, your surplus for first quarter no was about 11.3 billion Ghana cedis. The second quarter was about 5.8 billion Ghana cedis, all buoyed by mining or mining. So what's about your gross international reserves are mining? The World Bank and the IMF themselves have admitted say your gross international reserves now exceeded $7 billion, has beat the IMF program expectations. Now, one of the underlying factors are highlighting say the government's innovation to introduce the gold purchase program, the local gold purchase program, is the main anchor that has shot up Ghana's reserves from about 2.9 billion to over 7 billion USD. So it tells you, say, this particular sector, no, say, economy, it comes back to reinforce the point I'm making. It simply means that you are collapsing your economy. You will collapse your reserves. And you will collapse your exchange rate regime. You can't do away without it. Now, I say, because of Saab Genesis, I've given you all these stories prior to 2016. What was happening? And no thing na Kufuado, ye to abamano, me kaya to Ghana for nyina na eto abamano. So ya nya omanpenye dia e Ghana for ena ato abamam. And obey your manpenye. And no ka say asem we edi nya. Enti me Nana Akufo-Addo am president of the Republic of Ghana. Me de eye makonya eye Ghana kunya kese ene ntama maka akire Ghana for no me de to eho sa adie so no metu no say me de Galamsey aye illegal mining, the illegal aspects no because say me tu ase. Na wona wo de eye ekwan pa ye ne de e wo say yetumi ehye bukina na empo no illegal no say me true asia e was say me to me formalizing into be kaya e ho e na introduce sa community mining development scheme no plan no say na be betumi formalize the illegality aspect of the mining the small scale sector no mining na Nana Akufo-Addo take his decision in cognition with the security agencies in Ghana mining Nana Akufo-Addo take his position we say no mining also only the opposite to Galamsey ase, and every means possible must be used. Not young fan to Galamsey ase no omahene edi enisi. Yet to chrome here, and the main opposition party e wo chrome here, what Ghana me here. Your friend of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. Almost ka say there be. Omo bonyo so. Say your person to Galamsey ase e wo Ghana. Na dia no me your omahene. And the videos are there. I have it here. Say, afe, NDC for penny for Nankasa and Galamsey sites. And I almost share a black here. Say, where more dear, no matter where more they are referring to the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. So, where more dear, Omon Pema, some Omon Pesa Monsabe Comanunti, and now Omodi military for soldier for any police for HS Muse Galamsey na more yana Mumunye Sikadesha Momano, and ya de part into Mutumu F3. Eye bebi amudidie na se moto abama ye die ye ba ye be hye mukina even po machines ne akodi a akade a muhia na modi aye Galamsey na manetumi akoso no manye sika kokko ne kese no ye beboa mo na manya na ama matumi mo so matumi adiye omahene to so back fast forward in 2020 general elections so all shade data na the new patriotic party almost lost all the seats in Galamsey areas in Ghana omahene na de ye me na kakra wo mu ni so omahene tama omampanyin enya sa vision no anase onya ne suadi hunu no na ochire se wo se Galamsey yade a by 2016 na maka se edi enyama na nsuo ne bebre na esei enti wo se metumi tu ase na ode ne job to line so no na NDC for ase to undermine the efforts of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo no mahene de me bisa me hone se na ye wo organized labor wo Ghana na
Adna wisasa
mahene me bisa because organized labor ama ya tiase ne se Galamsey yade a omu ditum se edi Ghana ewu na asema me bisa organized labor ne se enne no omu behu se Galamsey edi Ghana ewu ana sa data ya me di maye no then time na organized labor was not formed etu omu ehu amanyene so omu hu dia na organized labor I issue even a single statement in support of the efforts and vision of the president at that time. Argentina organized labor and condemning the major opposition party the National Democratic Congress said mini animal idea man penny na juma ato form say ono de the job ato the line or be fight idea was here netumi ke hubom because yan ke hubom a ebetumi edi Ghana wu na munya de mo ye no na import to tell Ghanaians say obi a wode Galamsey be politics bia no Ghanaians should punish that political party. Organized labor UTAG miankasa ebe association no omo okromi ha na the leadership of UTAG no omo Ghana ha na why were they quiet? And at that time, no, sebi in previousa, no omuni sa vision ni se Galamsey betumi ase Ghana. It was some come joining the fight against Galamsey and omahene. Is that what they are telling us today? Now omahene yemra the efforts His Excellency say Odiegu Akwem omahene. I am fully aware say organized labor are making demands. Now one of the demands no the medin kan wasem no. Say money a moratorium on small scale mining in whichever form. Now and son you develop way for. I know the medin kaka say I can sit on your show and say as an economist it doesn't make any economic sense. I've said it to you because my mouth data no and I've given you enough evidence to show say yes sir. Invariably it means say we are collapsing our economy.
Well maybe from where I sit the organized labor feels which I have that same feeling for them that there is no other better time than now because kasi it's not now sir ebi hu na GSM nti kasi 2 months to elections and omutu say na mo we omutimpo and unfortunately they are being tagged they say omakoji sika omoye amanyosem omoye no mansem fata. We are not looking at the danger ahead of us as a people and as a country. Have we looked at those things? Those are other considerations we have to. Well, if you disagree now the data as an economist it doesn't make economic sense for us to make those initiatives. What are the options and what are those that we can readily say and show? Say where they are, and just continue. Even the trimpo for us to go on strike indefinitely, we can reconsider or relook at it.
I'm going to say waka and sempa. Now we release anopeya the Ministry of Information, the Ababontin. Further effort aban under and Akufo-Addo Dr. Bawumia anamo omutu omahene na mamen kind or say government takes further action to tackle illegal mining na okanya one or say government in its continued efforts to clamp down on the long-standing menace of illegal small-scale mining. I want to make say the illegal aspect and a problem has concluded operational measures to intensify the ongoing Operation Halt, which is led by Ghana Armed Forces to rid our river bodies of all forms of mining activities. Now, maybe be a me, and that me keep point to one of my sister stations. Now, I say anope, the release number a containing that part. Now, what I the part. Now, me free say a solve issue. That is the way to go. I say this phase of the operation will be done in conjunction with the Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana.
To check the
illegalities of mining. Because you can't want to artisanal and small scale mining. It is the Organized Small Scale Miners Association. Omayine. Omo when him dear, no almost name site to be a concession be omunim. And to whoever is operating illegally, and I say, oh yeah, dear, it contravenes the laws of the Republic of Ghana. No, organized small scale miners.
Why are they not adding the Labour Front to be part of this collaboration? A
small scale miners association of Ghana said they are part of Labour, and that's my thinking. I'm thinking they are supposed to be part of Labour, and
well, I don't think so. I don't.
My dream, no. Yeah, my dream, because I also know that there's something called a Labour Party, and there's something on mining, some group on mining, and I
maybe they will recognize the big ones.
Yeah, and I think the Small Scale Miners Association of Ghana are part of that group.
Okay.
There's a promotion more media. These are the people more media. And this all person will solve the problem. This will be some question. Say, meaning to say there are some small scale miners. Yamo mutumi krata so mufanye juma, but they operating illegally. Yes, it's true. But some person will check a sample phone. You can't do away with the organized group or more or money more ye juma pa no more ye juma boni. Untumi eni omu mfem.
Okay, so just about 60 more days to our election. 2024. That's on the 7th of December. And organized labor, Adom as such now. Even though portions of them also I retreat, I withdraw, say they can be part of this conversation. Said Adom. Inti the air can say join us. Yeah, if you for Kwaku Hagan Ricketts, a former deputy minister and a member of parliament, Cape Coast North, and so the NDs, Babaka, but be part of the conversation. Dr. Frank Bano, Edna Drenche, Tudra, also said this is not really the time. What continues to be the motivation, and then the seriousness to approach this one, it should not be politicized, it should not be partisan. Yes, sir, in your solution that. And also, at this point, it affects you, it affects me. So at this point, what are you able to suggest? It's not to attack or to insult or to be partisan. It's a national conversation. What do you suggest could be that solution? So join us on 0302 211 701 equals 4. 0302 211 701 equals 4. Doc, back to you. So you think that Abino, right after meeting the Labour Front, are you fair to Ghanaians and to the Labour unions, that in the midst of all this, this is what immediately I am doing. Yeah. Were enough?
Am I hearing? It is not enough, but it is the right steps. Anytime I say it is the right steps.
But you've been in South Africa before, right?
Yes. I've been there. I've lived there. I've taught there. Am I hearing? Someone say, South Africa.
Yeah, must remember. Now, if you want to come on, Sammy, Machi, I'm to say.
But you're so many opinion, doctor. Now, doctor, I'm what to say.
Doctor, I don't know where you are.
You, me the one can say, "Oh, doctor, and next to you do not take over." Yo, my main situation, I mean, here, I be taking MP on a branch champion, and a doctor Mamudu Baumia. On mine, the moon, you pick a course with that, going as a moment, I would watch it. On mine, make sure opinion, yeah, 1 year, 1 year analysis. The Mecca say, Papa, we will, Yanko point the Ishram. Ocean a casa any Nidia or Mema to say Canada Nacomaso. Sabi, opinion, go be a wood to, and now say we are wood to. Sabi, Ghana from paying for, and not my lances in William. Nana, Bima Bassa, one wash a gun and you know, see the mouth food in answer when night. Or mine, and you Pias, any powers who Pia or not what no big area, Dr. Benebetano. Nebo Dr. Fona Basso, Papa. Nebo Abasso. Na se bi Ghana se muko jisika obabi na muko se muko tokum na mu di abura eto jemada o tia wo so obeko
so yeah that's it yemfa yenua be mo no so good morning apom to say hello good morning apom to say good morning apom to say Mr. Jimaniana. Ampofu, all right. Okay, Ms. Ampofu, Pacho, what are my men to you in the young Concomosi Street?
Meda ya penina otie die ni so okasa na sibibre. The okasa at die ni so no nsema okana toma kuma so pa. Ebi se the ekos organ ha no. Me fi se amanyofem so ka ho. Ka no no apinte kwa na omoye sa ne ma no. Emoa. No mo me se na opportunity tetri no. Tabi wa akasa tade o temu fi tetete. Ta organize labor omo ho a omo hu die ni na. Some can one to more Montinanka. And then a more who said in Sono. Yes, sir. A man of Sujana Adom and yet me enjoying. A more disheartening that, not as a matensi, Abo man. Yes, sir. And the Yago Uncle Wakuma. All right. Miami Desert Doctor's natural moon. You go over to Hino. So a mother more Kobata. I'll fast in your moment. Okay, so that's it. Abdullah, I put say.
Ayo.
Good.
Dear Banya Branu, Galamsey somewhere when it's started signing an archive or we baby moon say to come than 2 years in it. Or beyond him, I can't want them. Ya no sure man, I got 2 months a year for trouble. I feel not Ghana Lebra for whom say, and sure no come here. And this Nimpaka Ghana Hanu Yanu Ankasa Yan, yea, I can say, Boa Ghana. Na ya kakara peba ye share boto ma sa ya kuma Ghana ye de Ghana ne ba ye da Ghana ne ba to su cheta ko pintam ye ba.
All right.
Na adun kire no.
Yes, you da CP and good morning apom ti say.
Good morning. O ma hina me ho ya na mo so e.
Oh nyame adom be bia ye kama.
O ma hina me so me die kakra me kan say. I think say nsuo die akoye no fat anu odin. If you and Sukra, send your Bessie, a dan de Mumiano, like, oh, ye bread. And no point I care, they so. And no crack at the who. And some ya sounds so organized by the Beckham, ye see a cost strike. Now, be you know, aside the cackers here because one could you mother crow crying, you know, so that Becca is you know, ye dan de Muno canoe, as I become and that's why you know, a cabby breed, young shall quiet by first one. My community mining na ekos no ahemfo ne wo ho na umi ali ni ekos yan ko mumum na yan hwe se ye ne ombeka sana wo man ka se yakosa anto kwa no efiri ho na ban so de ne ho agi nye na de ho agi ma bia ye kama.
All right, Mamenda Naomi, good morning.
Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi, good morning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, what's Sunyai? Sunyai into Galamsey. And the organized labor. The internet said to my phone, yes, you are strike maybe. But I may buy the local regional hospital. Men call now, doctors in Niho.
Oh, wow.
Tonight, your help will need dinty. Or my say, or my end to Galamsey.
I see. Naomi Medasi, yes, you are for the encounter. The other day, say, okay. Alasan, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good, Alasan.
Underground small scale mining association Ghana. Founder in America say.
Hey, what's it the association?
Some organized labor and seminar for Mokano. You know, one ya in the nature now. One more na say, one na a cause problem, no. Now, on the Galamsey, about 90% notness. Now, some notness, you know, during that time, colonial days, you know, one could fire Papa Muflex, and one by your companies, a Juma, and my woman, see Papa, woman, pay Papa, and let you know, one to see Binumi, woman, woman and anuma woman yakwayan ko school woman and yomu bedi ebi nim ni club any ade woman and woman ye Galamsey na woman kano papa na doctor na tla on manage no pa and someone can na ye 100% right no mine me pesa obe invite me pa me number no na mo invite me na me dey underground small scale mining association by
okay
at me started no 1979 I was Takwa.
Wow.
Takwa na wo se start akunta se ane ebi kwa ubekaya Rolling Style Womuche ya penny be such a phone bonone day. And that Metuduka, Yaman, Quatintia one day. The young son in a limitia or Yano, and a man de Ghana, Jumano Abla Secatra.
Okay, so Yebejo number that's it. Yanko Elembele na fi yembra back to Dr. Oni yanko game pack. Elembele ma yencha no pay. Bete on kana ache.
Yeah, me oye pa.
It's
a long time.
Very long time. Yeah.
The American that the mature fighting Galamsey. Each and every one your responsibility there. You bet me Badwam fighting Galamsey. Me, I see Galamsey fight there. I find out also to me more in fighting Galamsey. Because if you are the government in power, now security agents are a bit me Badwam fighting Galamsey. Then the blame should be on you. You have to put mechanism in place in fighting it. Chief, and who individual or mine also you should also do your part to fight Galamsey. The yes and yes to fight. It is a corrective responsibility on each of us as a Ghanaian. Okay. In fighting Galamsey. Now MPP are buying should also happen doing the fight because not buying the also all the mechanism in place in fighting Galamsey.
Yeah, that's CPLM. So you see, I was the part of the rappers over friend. Or a game packer by a better bro, a better animal. He ends up with something very important, a collective responsibility. Government of the day has a certain responsibility. And I feel Yembra of South Africa.
Say South Africa, I mean, say Galamsey mines person. Na Galamsey ni because of her. Na to say the me can't wear my feed back. So me say, me so obi make argument. Me say unemployment na driving Galamsey in Ghana. Me mean June 2. To say. So, Oshe, the top 10 countries in Africa with unemployment, highest unemployment rates. South Africa is number 1. Also, the unemployment rate in South Africa is 32.1%. In fact, far at the same time, the most unequal country in terms of access to opportunities. It is also South Africa. Clearly, it is not that. The Galamsey issue goes beyond unemployment. In South Africa, yes, Galamsey ni because but omo odi foforo omo de friend me refi term na omo de friend no. But a typical South African enkoye illegal mining e water body. Because to say me last call am kind there is that collective responsibility. Inti ubehu a typical South African so oye Galamsey and I say illegal mining na e mining pits are omeja to abandoned mining pits. And I say baby a obi koye exploration of free so nesika no bi wo ho but enye in commercial quantities obi to me atru na watumi enya ne mfa so back a omujaye. Those are the places you find illegal mining.
Okay, so mesa about so ba obekwa kotra de kira.
Am I hine meka kotra de? I didn't na me kotra de.
Onim de ekoso.
Menya ho. E na ekoso man.
Sit down on trasi.
Amahine onse one na obi same question onse amahine enipa bia no ye de ntete enema enipa amahine de se wo ye abofra wo maame no papa wo ye mount tete so se ohu panyi a chia no se bio se ote akonya so na se panyi eba be gina ho a
courtesy for boys and girls.
Yes e was se utumi sori na de akonya no man amahine saa so na me because we South Africa and na ma try de wo South Africa suapon mu. Na metna South Africa BS in film watch na metrade o University of Johannesburg no mahine. There have been so many serious issues akoso e South Africa o mahine. Edru baby kura no na eye etuobo kura abebe mo mahine. Manteda na mehu da say eye the organized labor in South Africa say Dr. Bano ochina don't go to the University of Johannesburg and go and teach because ade we akoso ye ni hu tutinase. There are legal processes, organized labor, and they achieve one aims. For the period of 8.5 years. I cannot deny Ghanaian. Say Ghana niba, I 1 year bonibiano. Say the mammy no friend mekano. Say also all fighting for the right of the Ghanaian. Ghana nintina was so yes sir. Na se Ghana ni ye dienti na wo so wo ye saa dia eye den e na wotumi ka kire eye medical doctor se mane nko hospital na Ghana ni ba no no yare da emergency ward no wongu na wo organize labor no wi awasaba be tena fidie so aka kire se de wo ye ni nyina is in the interest of Ghana. Just say we reconcile the two a na just say be wonhu enokre wo mu enti me de Ghana ni ba a watua ni school fees se oba suapoma ba beje ntetiye ni nimudie na ono so atumi de nimudie ba be boa Ghana mpuntuo no se oka kire me a me ti he Dr. Frank Bano se ma me nkokira de na sa Ghana ni ba no on lose that opportunity na ebia enam enu so mpo no academic calendar no ensay man plans or work for a life for no and to me materializes ya dachi o man hine se me kodru meja nanima obibi same ho asem enti me sa directive no me ametihe and I'm speaking for myself me this wa enyeye.
I see. Still maintain Kokori Rickets. I was in your constituency.
Oh, okay.
You are still strong. Many the actually power because me and the competition.
Oh, I see.
But you are very strong.
The
MC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
It's my body.
Oh, I see.
But you are still strong. That I told you on the Kusi saying, you are still strong. You have a magic one, B. Is it God's favor?
Yeah, God's favor, number one.
They love you.
And secondly, to do what the people want you to do for them, not what you want to do for the people.
Honestly, they love you.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing that my brother will just make more figures, but he's still
maybe his time will come in the future.
Maybe his time.
Not this time.
Boko there.
Boko,
good.
In friends, as you were saying, you were in my constituency.
Yeah.
Constituency Kakrana. I don't know.
Are you still practicing free, for the school children?
The bus, yes.
Yeah, the bus.
Yes. Oh,
it's strong.
Yeah. I mean,
you've been practicing all this while.
Yeah, for over 10 years. It's just a practical thing. This kind of Korea will say a practical Ghana, and that's what we are not. Practical. Be in school bus from Kuala school. Why can't it happen here? It's just because we have a different mindset.
You're too selfish, and I agree.
First of all,
yeah.
Let me chair Dr. Bano.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm here.
Myself.
And then
he's the former Deputy Minister of Finance and the NDC.
Yes.
To your
also data.
The last time John, Metro, no guy so the data be cry. Honorable Rick.
Yes. He's a data man.
Yeah, he told me about him.
But Namichia, Omomuti and the Pay Moshe. And I'm not sure some of them coming from the constituency, Basai. So I've not been actually great. Until now, but the answer another, I'll try and make it up. So apologies, we have a big problem in this country. Very, very big problem. And some of us as politicians, we are becoming frustrated with the system now. You women know. I hope that because I'm not allowed enough. Part of it is as the so-called political elite, and not only politically, but even elites in general in this country. That includes academics, include educated, very educated people and all that. Include journalists. To me. There are certain things that I'm seeing should not even happen. To come and sit in studio as CCI, my brother, I believe, belongs to the MPP, Danko Institute, of course. I'm an NDC MP, very obvious. We are here, we are coming to defend our position on something that we both know is destroying this country. Whether his position is right, and as I made the end right, something is definitely wrong with this country. I mean, look at what is happening to our water bodies. Look at the problems Galamsey is causing us. Water will become more expensive than the gold we are digging.
So how did we get to this point?
We got to this point because we have not taken the necessary action. Action also is taken. Whatever happens in the previous government, as they say, You have this debate that goes. I don't even want to get involved. Oh, MPP for NDC for small scale mining, license to change, all these things.
We are talking about an illegality.
We are talking about now. When the president came to office and assured us that we'll be dealing with the Galamsey problem now, until the Jumano Kwano, 8 years later, this is where we are. And the story, Ayabasa, different issues. Who should have done what and who hasn't done what and who is doing Galamsey. Who should be here Galamsey? What is the proof? Who made to be the minister here Galamsey? Who minister? The evidence? All these things. And I left out the legal system. When I'm talking about, you cause a problem. The legal system. So, they also which me prove beyond reasonable doubt to say, even when you know people are doing things, back and forth. And people are hiding behind the law to do things. In fact, law, in this country, is become the forte of criminals. They are the first ones to go to court. Who can ask them this? You see defamation of the or the court or the Okwa. They know how to play the legal system beyond reasonable doubt. And assembly in Kosibibia. And the people who are acquiring wealth, ill-gotten wealth from Sir Galamsey in Yamano, they have the most voice in this country.
Exactly.
This is why we are where we are at the moment. And if we don't take care and do something about this, my brother sitting here, good lecturer, I believe he's an economics, probably the same profession as me, economics lecturer. Me a politician, member of parliament. If care is not taken, a croyer to me, a time will come, we will not be able to operate.
Okay, so
whether it is MPP or
ANCO Game Park in the next 5 minutes. You have your full time to really share what you have for us.
Sure.
You ever try and come on. Yasaba be madam, you know, more system, more Jibra, more Shaman Cast, and admire if you are the enemy. Accra Digital Center, Mahama Hall, John Mahama Hall. Yeah, the media to this. Oh, me and Medina say sectoral debate here, the bro. We are dealing with food and agriculture. Food and agriculture. To the NDC will come and do a presentation. Likewise, the NPP, we are not agencies, associations, hold HSR, sector, and also bisa. After the presentation there, because you don't miss out. 7 a.m. sectoral debate, food and agriculture this Friday. Accra Digital Center. Now about me Edisa and Kobe, but still you had it. You for Coco Ricketts, Egan, and Dr. Frank Bano and so on. So, Ricketts, the next 8 minutes, me jam because now position and no machine. No about the 2 minutes I wrap up. How do we change the narrative? Because it cannot be business as usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I'll say, we've gotten it wrong. And then I say, water bodies in the essay. Until we have gotten it wrong, until we should go back to basics and reset the system and do it all over again.
Resetting to advantage of the NDC, reset the system.
Well,
reset
is English.
We cannot upgrade on this matter.
Well, how do you upgrade
on a matter that is so
dirty water? You have to clean it up.
We need to reset it.
We need to reset the system, especially with the issue of Galamsey. If you Google a few years ago, when this issue, Galamsey asked me by, when I became a regional minister in 2016, when I went around the whole of Central Region and all that, when I compare it to today, it's as if I did that about 50 years ago. Things have completely changed. So it means that the rate of assimilation of this Galamsey are at a much faster rate. And people are doing it. You get the argument, all these things. But there are bigger people or what should them Galamsey as in Yanichi. To research at that time, I proposed that Yembani or small scale mining. Not indefinitely, but in a way we can then sieve it in a sense that Yebenya, the right people with the right motives and all the right rules to do this Galamsey. And those now, they don't fit to be there, and we take them out. But if you want to do that and keep the system running the way it is, it becomes impossible. Because the influences are, you have different people, whether you send the military, you send the police, whatever you send. You're not going to keep the same police in Accra, as Abuasi as you keep in Kumasi or wherever the Galamseys are taking place. Some people will go there and get themselves compromised while others are working hard. So if you ban the thing and you have only one channel, that look, we are going to give new licenses to small-scale farming, small-scale mining. People who are doing a genuine small-scale mining has nothing to fear.
Okay, so let me go through this. I will tackle Galamsey in Central Region, Ricketts Hagan. This is 10th February 2016.
Okay.
Let me read. The Minister Designate for Central Region, Kweku Ricketts Hagan, has vowed to end illegal mining activities in the region. The country has been plagued with the activities of illegal mining, with the environment being the worst affected.
Yeah.
The activities of illegal miners, popularly known as Galamsey in the Densha traditional area in the Central Region, was condemned by the President John Dramani Mahama last year for the extent of damage done to the environment. Answering questions during his vetting at the Appointments Committee Wednesday, February 10, 2016, Ricketts Hagan said he will do everything within his power to ensure that illegal activities in the region are flushed out. And I quote, "I will make sure that I will do my best and tackle anything that is illegal in the region," he said. Yeah. So what did you do?
Well, unfortunately, my time was only about 10 months.
Oh,
and it was an election year, if you, as you just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever we
started, can't do much.
Yeah,
10 months and 2 months. 10 months.
I became a region
so
minister.
you see, it comes back to the point where I was making earlier.
You know, things got very tough in the Central. Yeah. So I went there in February. I think that's when I started.
10th February.
Yes.
2016.
Ah, you're right. You know, and as I said, at the time in the crowd, this time around, I am much worse and frightening. That even if we had been able to do the things that we can't say and by now, one of the things I make a show was about, if you come further and you Google me again, you find another thing I said about illegal mining a few years later after I left office. Because one of the plans, I was going to persuade the government to ban small-scale mining and start all over again. So that was the statement I made a few years later, which I'm sure you will also find out. And I mean, a big problem with the Galamsey and the small-scale miners of my suggestion that mining should be banned for 10 years somewhere. So this is the problem that confronts us. It's not an NDC water or MPP water.
Exactly.
It's for all of us. And let me come to you first, then I work my way backwards. When you listen to journalism or the morning programs and afternoon programs and evening programs, I say we talk about problems, but we don't solve them. And you will hear at the radio stations and TV stations say, people are making argument. And my brother here this morning seems to be making a decent argument, at least from what I heard. But what you hear, say, and summer, we know very much that someone can. That's not what is happening. Anyway. So I tell you, if you call me to your radio station to come and talk to somebody who is talking something that is completely senseless, I will not even show up. So it's not just about NDC, MPP, but debate.
We, the referees, are also very important.
Debate. or the government representative who call it the way idea. When the problem is there confronting all of us, it's not about how well you do for your party, it's about how well you do for your country.
Your country.
So, sad debate now, question. Media people, you have a role to play, is to stop that kind of conversation going on. Because it's no longer about, especially in political season here, you have people who want to come and show their eloquence, their this, things that are not going to put food on the table. And our water bodies will continue to spoil. Now, let's take Nana Akufo-Addo out. He has failed. It's not about MPP, NDC matter. The president put his job on the line to solve this problem, and he's not been able to do it. And the excuse the president has, or whoever was responsible for what, is irrelevant at this stage. He should admit and apologize to Ghanaians that he has failed.
He's failed when it comes to fight against illegal mining.
When the fight against illegal mining. And let's hear what the alternative is from President Mahama, who has put out the things he intends to do, and then Dr. Baumia, who is also saying certain things about a government he was actually part of, and saying things that are different. But we are going down a very slippery slope. And you hear other people saying that people who are doing demonstration should go and do it at the mining site.
That's another suggestion. That those who are affected most, they've not owned up to even the challenges that this illegality brings to bear. So if you sit in Accra and you are doing...
Excuse my language. It's a very silly thinking. Why should we even begin to think like that? Look, President Mahama, I think, made a statement. Now look, Galamsey no. So Oba, Adom no Oba, no Yesho no case no, because there are some big dogs behind us. The big dogs are here. The people who can make decisions and change the situation of Galamsey in this country, most of them sit here in Accra. They are the ministers, the president, the vice president, government officials, you know, all these mining institutions here in this country. They are just the boys. They are not the ones you are going to demonstrate to change anything. If you look at the setup in the look at I'm talking about like mafias. You go to a place like Chicago, my place I spent most of my life in school and everything. You realize that in the 1920s you have this Al Capone and all those people. These are the guys who were responsible for most of the crime going on in the Chicago area or in the United States. A lot of small fish in Chichi, they had a deal with them to release them so they can tell where the big boys are. So that's how they were able to pick the big boys. Today it happens, Italy and all those places. Small crime. You use them to get the big guys. Ones. If you get the small guys, because there has to be some link between the big guys and the small guys, at least there will be a middleman somewhere. Because the big guys will be the small guys will be no bit your car, will be no machinery. Those people come by excavator. Somebody brings that excavator to them and put it in their hands. So if you tell them who brought you the excavator, they will lead you to the person who brought it. If you ask the excavator man who purchased the excavator, you will also get. Okay, so the reference here, every doc 2 minutes.
Yeah, but that's my name. The can say Galamsey fight, a collective fight. My name. Now, they be a case. So, Obagana Memiha. And now, ye land tenor system, Montino. Oka Galamsey Wasama Ayana Edin. For say, Ghana Hana are buying in Niasas, and a government doesn't own land. Let me put it within that context. Land is owned by traditional authorities. Intino, say, Opese Okoye project, so honorable criteria, Opese ne, Okoye project on the constituency. Even though we be ana, or ya buying the part. but I was also who nananom ahempon.
Of course.
And son would to me the right. Se obenya asase ayi project also. Sa so metie. Me say nana bie ni ho a Galamsey koso won importem obetumi aka se won onim se Galamsey koso won importem.
Okay.
It is a person to Galamsey ase a enya banko a enye security agencies but yen collective responsibility as Ghanaians and especially traditional authorities maybe I believe so man say traditional authorities some do mo na esi from say na about 50% of the issue will be solved.
You're right, it's Midasi. Thank you.